Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior, and today we're going to be talking about Violent Ken. Now, Violent Ken is a non-canon character. Much like Oni and Evil Ryu, he's more of a concept than his own actual character. A common misconception about Violent Ken is that he's in fact tapped into the Satsue no Hado, when in fact on both occasions of entering this form, Ken had been brainwashed by Shadaloo and had been infused with Psycho Power. Now, it's a very easy mistake to make, as Psycho Power is purple, and when an Ken user taps into the Satsue no Hado, his Hadoukens turn purple, so it's a very common misconception. Now, much like Evil Ryu, when Ken changes into this form, he gains some new moves and becomes significantly more aggressive, and does gain a purple aura due to the Psycho Power. Now, the first ever hint we see of Violent Ken is in fact in the movie. To be precise, Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, in which Ken is captured and brainwashed by Shadaloo, and then sent off to battle Ryu. This is because Bison is currently tracking down Guile, so by brainwashing Ken, he is able to keep Ryu occupied. Now, with assistance from Ryu, Ken's able to break away from his brainwashing. Now, Bison attempts to put him under his control once more, but Ken remembers the lessons that Goken had taught him, so he's able to clear his mind, allowing him to join Ryu in defeating Bison. Now, not many people refer to this character as Violent Ken, but more Brainwashed Ken, and he in fact became the inspiration for the Violent Ken character. Now, Violent Ken would make his debut in SNK vs Capcom SVC Chaos, being one of two Capcom bosses in the game, one being obviously Violent Ken and the other one being Shin Akuma. Now, Ken in this game seems to be extremely jealous of Ryu, having grown very frustrated with himself as he could not seem to beat Ryu, and this led to a small form of resentment towards his friend. Now, at some point, Ken would be kidnapped and brainwashed by Shadaloo, infusing him with Psycho Power and putting him under their control. Thus, Violent Ken was created. He lost for violence and destruction, with the only thing seeming to return him back to his normal form is when he recognizes Ryu, to which Ken begins wondering to himself if deep down is this what he actually desires? Now, after the last battle in the game, the Psycho Power that seems to have been controlling him has finally worn off, returning Ken back to his normal state, and by the time he arrives home, he has no memory of what had happened, and Ken's actual ending then plays from there. So the writers did a very good job of kind of blending Violent Ken into normal Ken, and that in turn kind of resembles the same conflict that Ryu has with the Satsue no Hado. Now, the latest appearance of Violent Ken has been in Project X Zone 2, which is a massive crossover game featuring people from Capcom, Sega and Bandai Namco. Now, if you were to play the game as Ryu, and Ken was still locked, you would meet Ken in the game as Violent Ken. Now, Ryu would be able to return Ken back to his normal state after performing the Shin Shoryuken on him, snapping him out of the Violent Ken form, and that's the last time we've seen Violent Ken appear in a game. Now, I do like the concept of Violent Ken. It's smart and not really hard to get behind. Now, I would like to see this character return up to a certain extent. Violent Ken seems to really blossom in the crossover games, and I feel that's where he should actually stay, because if he were supposed to be put into the game as part of a story, then I feel it'd be a lot like the Evil Ryu scenario all over again. It's a story arc that seems to have been finished, so if anything were to resemble it, it'd feel like a rehash, and I feel like that would hurt Ken as a character. But that's all I have to say about Violent Ken, guys. Now, I also want to let you guys know that the charity stream is going to happen this month. To be precise, on the 26th. It's going to be a 24-hour stream, and it will feature myself, True Underdog Gaming, Dynasty and Miss Laura Croft. All the money we accumulate will be going to a lovely charity called Special Effects, a charity that supports children who are mentally or physically disabled. The charity itself allows young children to come together and play video games with each other, allowing them to develop social skills and become friends. Now, if possible, guys, please donate some money towards this, as it helps fund the charity and the equipment it can provide. I'll leave a link for it in the description below, so if possible, guys, please donate towards this. Now, as always, guys, please comment, like, subscribe and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care, and I will see you all next time.